Hi, my name is Special Patio, and today's task is going to be strictly on asthma. It's going to pretty much be how to do everything that involves an asthma. So, our task for today is going to be to convert an asthma into a back asthma. Our second task is going to be how to convert a magnetic asthma to a grid asthma. Our third and final task is going to be how to convert a grid asthma to a magnetic asthma. Now, the conditions for the day are, say for example, you are a member of a squad preparing to conduct tactical movement, and you have been directed to convert asthmas in preparation for the movement. The only tools that you have been given would be a map, a pen, and a compass. Now, the standards is simply to convert an asthma into a back asthma, a magnetic asthma to a grid asthma, and a grid asthma to a magnetic asthma without any error. Now, today's risk assessment is extremely low. The only way we can keep the risk assessment low is, say for example, if you see any wildlife, leave all the wildlife alone. So if you see a bear, a deer, any bunnies, any raccoons, any possums, anything of that nature, just leave the wildlife alone. Now, if the wildlife gets in the way of us training, we will simply move to a different training site. Our second way to keep the risk assessment low would be make sure that you guys are drinking water. Drink lots and lots of water. Make sure that you guys are hydrating. It's like 90 degrees out here right now. I don't want any heat cats. I don't want anyone to heat cat. I want to make sure that everyone makes it back home safe and sound to their loved ones. So remember guys, make sure you guys are drinking water. Now, our third and final way to keep the risk assessment low would be any debris. If you see any debris, leave all the debris alone. Leave any debris alone, and if it continues to get in our way, we will simply move to a different training area. Now, at this time, I will demonstrate how to complete all three tasks. Now, at this time, I will now demonstrate how to perform all three tasks. Now, for the first task, in order to convert an asthma into a back asthma, you would either add 180 degrees if the asthma is 180 degrees or less, or you would subtract 180 degrees if the asthma is 180 degrees or more. Now, the second task, in order to convert a magnetic asthma to a grid asthma, you would have to locate the GM angle, which is part of the declination diagram on you guys' map. It is on the bottom of your map. Now the second step would be to determine whether the GM angle is easterly or westerly, I mean. In our case, it's going to be westerly. The third thing you would do, you would have to apply the mathematical formula to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. Due to the fact that it is westerly, subtract a westerly GM angle from a magnetic azimuth to obtain a grid azimuth. Now, our third and final task would be to convert a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth. The first thing you would do is locate the GM angle, which is part of the declination diagram, again at the bottom of your map. You then will apply the mathematical formula to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. So basically, essentially, this time the only difference will be is if you are westerly, you will add the GM angle to a grid azimuth to obtain the magnetic azimuth. Now, once again, our task was to convert an azimuth back into a back azimuth. The second one was to convert a magnetic azimuth to a grid azimuth. And our third was to convert a grid azimuth to a magnetic azimuth. At this given moment, you will have 5 minutes to accomplish these 3 tasks without any error. All right, 5 minutes is up. I walked around, and so far, we only have 2 failures, Private Snuffy and Private Joe. Next week, you guys will be in the same uniform, ACH, iPro, gloves, flick. It's gonna be on Wednesday at 1300. You guys will be back down here at this same training site. There, I will brief you guys. I will reteach, pretty much retrain you guys on how to do everything. Now, I would like to conduct an AAR. I would now like to conduct the AAR. So, I'm gonna ask the class today, what was supposed to happen, right? We were supposed to convert the azimuths. Did we do that? Yes, we did. What did happen? We pretty much just did like I just said before. We converted. I pretty much showed you guys 3 different type of ways to convert an azimuth. Now, any sustainments? Okay, if not, any improvements? Okay, more so importantly, how can we improve training for the future? Okay? Now, the TPU means train, practice, untrain. That's what TPU stands for. At this time, we will now take 5 minutes to gather all the equipment and police call the area. All right, 5 minutes has now elapsed. So, and now this concludes my brief.